is going on? Let's try this again. What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for Smackdown Live review for last night's show. I was going to have this up last night, but my entire PC decided to be a piece of garbage to me, so that is why we are getting this today instead of yesterday. But last night's show, we turned it on, and this is supposedly the last episode before we get to the official Bischoff era, as he's supposed to be taking over after Extreme Rules, which of course is this Sunday. Bischoff has got a lot of work cut out for him because this show is just Shane McMahon over and over and over again. And what happened? As soon as we get to the show, we see Dolph Ziggler. He's asked about what happened last week. Kevin Owens honking in the parking lot. Those two get into a big brawl. Kevin Owens is supposedly supposed to be sent home, while Dolph Ziggler is allowed into the building. We get to Tom Phillips. He does his own usual introduction, which is bland. It's stale. It's just, it's Tom Phillips. And he gets to half of it. They have the graphic up for what's going to be happening tonight outside the main event, because the main event is now unknown, because it was supposed to be Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens storms into the ringside area, grabs a microphone, starts ranting about everything that's happened recently, about what happened backstage. He's pissed off the fact that Shane McMahon keeps calling himself the best of the world, and just goes on and on and on about everything that is wrong with Smackdown Live. He dropped his pipe bomb, as everyone has been calling it, last night. It's been all over social media that everyone's like comparing this to CM Punk. This was nowhere close to what CM Punk had to say. Everything that came out of CM Punk's mouth in 2000 and, 11, 12, 10, whatever the fuck it was, the summer of Punk 2011, felt real. It felt genuine. It felt like it was unscripted. It felt like everything was coming from his soul. This felt like Kevin Owens was being told what to do. None of this felt like it was what Kevin Owens really thought. It was Kevin Owens being said, here's your script, read it, get it out there. There's a difference between just watch the two promos back to back. Watch Kevin Owens ranting on what happened last night, but then go watch the pipe bomb by CM Punk, and you can tell a major difference by what these guys have said. Kevin Owens does mention that he watched the McMahon family a couple months ago come out here and tell us that there's going to be change. Triple H, Seth McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Vince himself came out and had Triple H say, "You are the authority. We're going to change. There's going to be change. Everything's going to be different. New, fresh faces, fresh matchups." None of that happened. None of that happened. Yes, you brought up EC3. You brought up Lacey Evans. You brought up Lars Sullivan, who then eventually disappeared. You brought up Nikki Cross. You brought up Heavy Machinery. And between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, they were not used. None of them were practically used. I mean, yeah, Lars Sullivan disappeared. He was supposed to have a feud going into WrestleMania with John Cena, probably on the losing end, because John Cena has to be the I'm the superhero, nobody can beat me at WrestleMania. But yeah, you did not use these guys and girls for months. After WrestleMania, of course, Lacey Evans started getting this big, huge push that she does not deserve. Nikki Cross had become best friends with Alexa Bliss. I still don't get what that's all about. I don't know how I feel about that still. And Lars Sullivan is out with an injury. And Heavy Machinery in a tag team title match this coming Sunday. So, and oh yeah, EC3 is still MIA after getting choked. The MIA in major WWE storylines, he's being part of the 24/7 joke chase. That's about it. Carrying that solo cup around like it actually means something, showing, hey, I actually give up. I got my pay, I'm just going to hold my cup and just go ahead. Shane McMahon comes out and says, that's enough, cut this guy's mic off, cut it off completely. So they do. He grabs another mic and says, you know, Shane, you're an idiot because we do have more microphones. He says Shane McMahon disrespects every past performer, past and present, when he calls himself the best in the world. Owens says it makes everyone sick. Owens says everyone in the back thinks Shane can kiss my ass when he calls himself best in the world. Shane wants Owens stopped. Owens goes on about how Shane takes the TV time from Ali, Buddy Murphy, Apollo Crews, AOP, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Liv Morgan. 7 names right there that he named. Yes, Ali's been in vignettes for whatever fucking reason. The Kairi Sane and Asuka have been used this week alone, and that was about it. Apollo Crews has been a perennial jobber his entire time up and then up from the top. Buddy Murphy hasn't been seen since WrestleMania after he was shown at the Superstar Shakeup that he was coming to SmackDown Live. Cedric Alexander took wearing a mask to be found on TV. Aleister Black has been locked up in a closet wondering who's going to pick a fight with me. This crap. Shane McMahon is being littered all over Raw and SmackDown Live while guys and girls alike are all being left at the wayside because Vince McMahon, for whatever reason, thinks Shane McMahon is what the kids want to see. Oh, we really want to keep that teenage demographic. Then you drop the Shane McMahon storyline like that, act like it never fucking happened, and we move on. But no, you're worried about losing that teenage demographic, yet you're still pushing your fucking 50-year-old son. Give me a fucking break. Shane McMahon is not the only problem with these shows. But recently, since WrestleMania, the beginning of the year really, he has been a big part of the problem with these shows. Get your son off TV, but after tonight, you can see the fact that he is probably going to be winning on Sunday and moving on to face Kevin Owens at SummerSlam, which if it's Kevin Owens at SummerSlam, that's one thing. If we see him going up and getting a WWE Championship match going into SummerSlam, we all know where that's going, and it's going to be the worst decision WWE will ever make. Shane McMahon, if he goes to SummerSlam and wins the WWE Championship, that's going to make that's going to by comparison make the Jinder Mahal WWE Championship reign look like it fucking genius. That's how bad that's going to look. He eventually he mentions all those superstars and then gets chased off by security after he had the second mic cut off, and he grabs Byron Saxton's headset to rally off about that. So, was this even close to a pipe bomb? No, this was not. It was good. It was different. It felt fresh. It felt something new. But our excitement pretty much just fell off. With the way they went with this, Kevin Owens is the next in line to take on Shane McMahon, to fall to Shane McMahon, because I'm telling you, the goal is, and this is Vince McMahon's goal. What bigger than Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon for the WWE Championship on that first episode in October? All the kids are gonna want to see Roman beat Shane. Nobody, you really want Roman Reigns to be booed, don't you? If you take that championship off of Kofi Kingston and give it to Shane McMahon, everybody and the fucking brother is going to know who it's going to. Everybody. Roman going to SmackDown, we all figured he's going to be champion going into October. Good luck, Vince. You have all this goodwill with the fans on Roman now because fans are afraid to boo the guy, because if they boo the guy, they're going to feel bad. You had, like I mentioned this before, What Culture went to WrestleMania weekend this past year. You had like Phil Chambers, you had Adam Wilborn, Adam Cleary, Jules, and I believe one other one who went. And they did a news video after that and talked about him getting booed at the night after WrestleMania, and they felt like they were pissed because the fans were booing a guy who survived cancer. Motherfuckers, listen. It is okay to boo the character Roman Reigns. You're not booing Joe Onowale. You're booing the character. It's two different things. Now, if you go up to the guy and say he should, and say some disparaging things to him when you meet him in real life, that is a different story. But as soon as that curtain opens, as soon as that music hits, it's not Joe anymore, the guy who beat cancer. It's Roman Reigns. Roman didn't beat cancer. Joe did. Get it through your fucking heads. It's okay to boo Roman, guys. It's okay to boo Roman. But if Roman Reigns, if you go with this and have Kofi lose to Shane, only to get it back on Roman, that's going to get Roman booed heavily. Finn Balor vs. Shinsuke Nakamura, a once-in-a-lifetime match in WWE. A dream match that people want to see in WWE. thrown together on a random episode of Smackdown Live because we need to get Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura in a match at probably Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental Championship. There are so many other ways you could have done this. You like doing elimination matches. Have a fatal four-way elimination match. Shinsuke Nakamura, Buddy Murphy, Rusev, and Shelton Benjamin. All four of those guys. The winner goes to face Finn Balor at Extreme Rules. Boom. There you go. You want to have a 2 out of 3 falls match? I wouldn't do that, but you know what I mean. Do something. A tournament. You had 3 weeks. You could have did a 4-man tournament. 2 matches. Winner goes on to face Balor at Extreme Rules. That would have got this build up so much better than having these two just throw away a match, a potential dream match on SmackDown. That would be like Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles right before their dream match that fucking sucked so badly, having a match on SmackDown before WrestleMania, and Shinsuke Nakamura beating AJ Styles before we get to WrestleMania. I mean, it's just so stupid. Oh, but we gotta get a title match. How can we get a title match if the champion doesn't lose to the challenger? So many other ways. In my opinion, this is my opinion, champions should only be wrestling sporadically on this show, on the main shows, but on like Raw and SmackDown. But they should be appearing to set up matches for the pay-per-views. A champion should be here while the rest of the superstars are here. Everyone else is here, depending on what division you're in. Champions are here. Champions only wrestle sporadically on the main show. We don't need to see Kofi wrestling every single week. We don't need to be seeing Seth Rollins wrestle every single week. Same thing with Ricochet. Same thing with Finn Balor. Same thing with Bayley and Becky Lynch. Same thing with the Idiotics. I wish they would at least give them some TV time so we can get those titles off of them. Back from breaking out comes Intercontinental Champion Balor. Shinsuke Nakamura is out next. We get a sidebar recording where we also get a pre-recorded backstage comment from Balor, who praises Nakamura but says that there's not one the man he's facing tonight. He's facing a man who is desperate to get his career back on track. Well, Balor, we haven't seen you since Super Showdown. So apparently the Intercontinental title, which all that goodwill, all that stuff that Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins did for the Intercontinental title last year got thrown to the wayside. Even when Dean Ambrose at the time won it, then you had all these guys, like you had all these months. But Balor and Bobby Lashley feuded over the thing. That was better than what you have now, where he doesn't even show up. The wildcard rule has to end on Sunday. The wildcard rule ends when Heyman and Bischoff supposedly take over. When they take over, it's got to be Raw and SmackDown superstars on their own brands. You have AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch on Raw. You have Kofi, Finn, and Roman for SmackDown. We don't need no wildcard rule, and I don't really want to see Shane on both of these shows. Nakamura wins this one after continuing to batter Finn Balor to try and win by countout, which the Kinshasa on the outside should have been the finish, and if he would have hit him with the Kinshasa with like at a 5 count, that would have been the finish, and I would have been like, okay, that's fine. That was fine because the champion did not get pinned. But no, what do they have to do? Balor gets in for one last time at the 9. Nakamura hit the Kinshasa for the 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Balor, a champion, loses again. After the match, Nakamura stands tall over Balor as his music hits. Nakamura delivers a kick to the back as we go to replays. Shane and Elias Drew are backstage. Shane and Drew promise to make Cedric Alexander pay for what happened last night on Raw. Meltzer talked about this on Wrestling is Over on him and Brian Alvarez's show after Raw, and talked about how this isn't the first time they did Who's Under the Mask? Who's Under the Mask? It's somebody. Well, what they 99.9% of the time, the person under the mask it's a babyface maneuver. It is. It's a babyface maneuver. The babyface should always win. But of course, Shane McMahon can't take a pinfall. Instead of having Shane McMahon even out there, you shouldn't even have Shane McMahon wrestling on Monday Night Raw. The fact that you had Shane McMahon go out there and beat these guys and then have Cedric Alexander pull the mask off and like, oh, big reveal. Nobody cared. You could hear the crowd went completely crazy when they foolishly thought this was a non-wrestler going out there and kicking butt. As soon as Roman Reigns and Cedric Alexander lost, that excitement went out the window. Elias says he's been working on a perfect funeral song for Taker. It's going to be spooky. Who cares? Ziggler walks in and he's not happy with Shane taking away his chance to end Kevin Owens. Shane says Ziggler can take care of another issue for the night. He booked Ziggler versus Reigns for tonight's main event, and I'm like, oh great. You have the most boring wrestler in WWE today versus the most annoying wrestler, I should say, in WWE today with Dolph Ziggler. And of course, Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Elias would be at ringside. And I'm just going to say this. Shane McMahon on commentary, no thanks. No thanks. Back from break, and we see a video package of Samoa Joe versus Kofi Kingston. We go to pre-recorded comments from Joe. Joe promises to tear everything away, last shred of the lie that Kofi Kingston is. Joe goes on and says he will put Kofi to sleep, then take the WWE title. Now, when it comes to Samoa Joe, I can't take... This guy is Bray Wyatt-esque now. Talks a big game. He's a great wrestler. He's somebody out who should be able to go out there and give you everything he can. But he doesn't win. Yes, he won the U.S. Championship, but then he lost it twice. Back-to-back pay-per-views. One by a fuck finish and one clean as a whistle. Samoa Joe in NXT was a killer. He went out there and took out everybody. He is the first, I think he was the first two-time NXT champion. And if it wasn't for the fact that the way they book things, they gave it back to Nakamura to make him a two-time NXT champion. Within like 14 days or whatever. But in NXT, Samoa Joe, you believed everything that came out of his mouth because he backed it up. He doesn't back it up anymore. Goes out there and is like, I'm going to take the title from AJ Styles. He wreaks havoc on the Styles family. And he loses every single match. Why they kept AJ Styles as champion for 341 days is beyond me. But you could have given it to Samoa Joe. I know why. The only reason I can surmise that they gave AJ Styles that long title reign is because he became the cover athlete to WWE's 2K game last year, and they wanted him to have the title when he had promotional material to go through. They could have gave the title to Shinsuke Nakamura once, had him win it back, and have Shinsuke Nakamura win the match at WrestleMania. AJ Styles wins the title back at Money in the Bank in that last man standing match, which was the best match they had. Styles could have lost to Samoa Joe at SummerSlam and won it back by the time at Hell in a Cell if they wanted to. Something. But no, they didn't. And Samoa Joe looked like a fool. Nakamura looked like a fool all last year. So, and people are like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing Samoa Joe be champion. I wouldn't either. But it's not going to happen. This is his 5th or 6th championship opportunity overall. I don't see him getting it this time either. Kelly Braxton is in the ring when she brings out Nikki Cross and Bayley, as we are going to have a 2-on-1 handicap match at Extreme Rules, and Nikki Cross is here for herself and Alexa Bliss, as Alexa Bliss is out with an illness, so that is why she is not here. They have the usual banter back and forth about, Alexa Bliss isn't your friend, don't trust her, blah, blah, blah. Oh, she's my friend, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, by the time when we get to, Extreme Rules, we're going to take the title from you and we're going to do it right. We're going to become Smackdown Live Women's Champion. No, that just, don't say that. I know it's like 99% think we're all going to think that Bayley's going to win this match, but don't make it so goddamn obvious. There's no way in hell 2 Raw superstars are going to become Smackdown Live Women's Champions. I fully expect to see Sasha Banks back on Sunday. I fully do. Fully do. So, she says, they both sign. She says, stay out here for her match with Carmella. So we go to break after Carmella is making her way to the ring. We come back and we have about a 3-minute match with a purge out of nowhere for the 1-2-3. Nikki Cross beats Carmella in a okay match. I mean, Carmella is not it's still greenish in the ring, I guess. Nikki Cross had to do everything she could to help Carmella get through this, but it was what it was. After the match, Cross stands tall and her music hits. She stares at Bayley. The announcers discuss the feud between Kairi Sane and Asuka in the Idiotics. We see Asuka and Kairi Sane recently won a non-title match over Peyton Royce and Billie Kay in Tokyo, Japan, in the Ryogoku Hall. To earn a future title shot, we go backstage to the Idiotics coming out of the women's locker room and being confronted by Asuka, Sane, and Paige. Paige says they want to schedule the title shot for tonight. You do hear the crowd go, "Oh, yeah, title shot." But no. The champs say Billy is sick and they play it up. Paige says they accidentally won the titles of WrestleMania and they have done nothing since. Whose fault is that? WWE put the titles on the Idiotics to go and feud with the Bella Twins. April, May, June, I believe, and in July it was going to be the Idiotics versus the Bella Twins. How fucking awful that would have been. That would have been some of the worst television I have ever seen and you have ever seen. And don't doubt me. I'm telling you right now, that would have been some of the worst television we have ever seen. And that's why they haven't done anything with these titles. That's why these women haven't done a thing really since they won the championships. Because WWE do not have enough creative juices in Vince McMahon's head or the creative team to figure out a way to get these titles off of these women. You unfairly took the titles off of Bayley and Sasha Banks, put them on these two to have a feud with a worse team than this team. You would have had 4 women who can't cut a promo, who can't wrestle, who have zero ring awareness, have zero stage presence, do not connect with the fucking fans as it is. You would have had months and months worse than what we have now. Just imagine that. Calls them, Paige just hit this right on the nail, right on the head. She called them clowns, she called them overhyped, and some other words, but it was right on the head. She slaps Billie Kay, and Idiotics go to stand up to them, but Paige reminds them they claim Kay is sick, and Paige threatens them with the title shot to happen soon, and the Idiotics walk off. Just make it for Extreme Rules. How hard is that? Oh, that's right. The women's tag team titles are an absolute joke and should be abolished after Extreme Rules. Remember in 1999, I believe it was, 1999, when WCW took all the championships, you had the New Blood, you had Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff in the middle of the WCW ring on its episode of Nitro and said, this is a soft reboot. We're going to get rid of all the champions. We're going to do everything is fresh from here on out. You need Raw and SmackDown to have that happen, minus, of course, if you want to keep the championships. And you say this is a fresh restart. There is no more wildcard rule. The women's tag team titles are gone. And this is a new start for the entire WWE coming out of Extreme Rules. And you do that. Shane McMahon is no longer going to be on TV. He can go back to China and work with his partners in China. And we go on from there. We see Dolph Ziggler backstage preparing for his main event with Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan and Rowan are shown walking to the ring as we are going to be having our summit soon. Taylor Braxton is backstage with Reigns. She asked about the craziness on tonight, and she heard his match with Dolph Ziggler. Reigns welcomes the craziness and says, "That's defined my career." Says Ziggler is not ready for him tonight. He also says he and The Undertaker will do their thing on Sunday, which will mean Shane and Drew will rest in peace and walk down. We go to the ring for tonight's Tag Team Title Summit. Big E and Xavier Woods from the New Day come out. They talk about tonight's triple threat and the triple threat on Sunday. They go on and say the first time members of the New Day will be able to touch championship tips. And they did get a little crude because you had Big E say, "That's not my definition of a three-way I was hoping to get in this Sunday." Yeah, because we need to have sexual humor in WWE, but we got to appeal to teenagers, and that's what teenagers want. They want sexual things. That's what I think. The music interrupts, and out comes the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Bryan and Rowan. Bryan says fans are booing him, but they should be booing the New Day. Bryan knocks them for gravitating and making jokes about three-ways and tips. for not taking the title shot seriously. Bryan says they're not taking it serious because when they won the titles in the past, no one takes them serious either. Of course, this is a dig at Kofi Kingston because people are starting to take Kofi Kingston as a champion less and less serious. Having the WWE champion come out and just be like, "Oh, let me throw pancakes, let me stuff them down my championship, let me just throw pancakes and be a fucking clown." It's negatively affecting the WWE Championship, and it's starting to trend towards Jinder Mahal levels. It won't probably get that bad because Kofi Kingston can work compared to Jinder, but in the grand scheme of things, his title reign is becoming an absolute joke. Woods says Bryan talks too much without ever saying anything. Woods wants to hear from Big Red Rowan over here and says, "Rowan, you have us confused because first he's taking orders from Bray, then Harper, and now Daniel." Woods says they can't figure out who Rowan's daddy is. Rowan obviously gets pissed off and you get a huge "Who's your daddy" chant. Bryan goes to knocking the New Day, saying they can't escape the mid-card and are just as bad as comedy acts. Bad for the tag team division. Bryan says the only thing worse would be for Heavy Machinery to win the titles and out NQ Heavy Machinery. Tucker brags about how he took Bryan and Rowan to the limit on Stomping Grounds and they win the win over Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens last week. They earned this opportunity. Otis says they are blue-collar solid, and Tucker says that means you overcome any obstacle. Goes on and says Heavy Machinery will be the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions as Otis does his own version of the swaying your hips and then, a pelvic thrust because that appeals to teenagers. Yeah! Knock off the pelvic thrust. It's absolutely fucking embarrassing. Tucker says they will show everyone that there's no party like a blue-collar party. He gets so fucking excited on that line. Otis says tonight, words, Daniel, you have a match with him, and he's coming. And he heads to the ring. Otis versus Daniel Bryan versus Xavier Woods. Can I mention something now? Great SmackDown Live felt compared to Monday Night Raw because of the picture-in-picture feature that they have. Raw does not have this feature, so Raw feels like shit. SmackDown has a picture-in-picture feature for everything but the main events. So instead of having the entire 3-hour show, like a 2-hour show, feel like Raw, where we have to have elimination matches that make no sense. We have to have 2 out of 3 falls matches that make no sense. You don't have that problem here. Except for, of course, the main event was so poorly paced last night. It's not even funny. Bryan runs in and jumps back on Otis, tosses him in. Halfway through the match, there was a spot in this match where Daniel Bryan and Woods were trying to double suplex Otis. That ain't gonna happen. You better be AOP or Tucker and Big E to suplex Otis. Otis picks both guys up, holds them up. He's trying to hold them up in the delayed vertical suplex. And, of course, the double weight of them gets him going back a little bit faster than he wanted to, but he held them up there for at least, it felt like forever, but it was definitely 20 seconds, it felt like. He got him back down, and it was just an awesome spot. Otis ends up winning this with a big slam on Xavier Woods in the middle of the ring for the 1-2-3. During the middle of this match, before they went to the picture-in-picture commercial, Rowan got involved. Big E and Tucker shoved him over the announce table, and then the referee kicked all 3 men out. A video showing this led to Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler feud, including today's brawl in the parking lot and tonight's opening segment with Owens and Shane. Ember Moon has words with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rhodes backstage in catering. She says, you guys are talking a bunch of shit, but I whipped Mandy Rhodes' ass last week. Deville says, we're over that, but it made us closer. You get a devilish smile from Mandy Rose, so I don't know if they're trying to be subtle with the whole entire lesbian angle that everyone's speculating. But this one, of course, didn't help that. Don't know where they're going with it. But this Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville versus Ember Moon storyline just doesn't, I don't care. Ember Moon deserves better than this. Ember Moon is better than this. And this is all you have her saddled with. But next week it's going to be Rose and Deville versus Ember Moon and a partner of her choosing. If she can't find a partner, she'll do it on her own. It obviously should be Carmella because Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville have problems with Carmella too. It had problems with Carmella too, so that's the obvious answer. And people have been paying fucking attention. If WWE remembers that Carmella had problems with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville too, you would have that be the tag team match next week. Back from break, and we get a vignette from Ali being his best Bruce Wayne, I guess. I don't know what they're trying to do. Is he going to down a cow in a cape and try and be Batman? I don't know if he wants to be Batman or a professional wrestler. I just don't know. Aleister Black joins Tom Phillips backstage. The screen is split with Aleister Black on this side and an empty chair on this side. Tom says Black and his opponent have signed their contracts for the match Extreme Rules on Sunday, but Black's opponent is choosing to remain anonymous. Black laughs and applauds the Extreme Man for staying hidden, saying it's smart and something he would have done. Black says at this point he doesn't care who the Mystery Man is because on Sunday he will just walk out and somebody walk around the chair twice. He walks this way, and then he just sits down, and it is surprise, surprise to nobody else that Cesaro is the Mystery Man. He wants to pick fights with Black. Black says he's going to fight Cesaro on Sunday, and he walks off. Cesaro puts the mouthpiece in and smiles. We go backstage to see Shelton Benjamin asked from Sheriff Shriver about the match with Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler. And very low audible, you hear, well? And he just walks off. Why? I don't know where they're going with this, and I really don't care. Back from break, and Kayla Braxton's talking, and Paul Heyman briefly appears and then disappears. Why is he there? He's working Monday Night Raw. I know he works with Aleister Black, so that's probably why he was here. Who knows? It was also probably just teasing because the fact that, boom, Kofi Kingston was her guest. She asked him about last week's controversial middle finger. He says, last week I got in Joe's head because Joe likes to play mind games, but I got in his head, hit him with Trouble in Paradise. Here's props to Joe's his most dangerous opponent, but welcomes that and will be the greatest champion of all time. Had they had Samoa Joe come from behind and just pull and just be like, you in my head? And just like start talking about him being in his head, I don't think so. And just choke him out. That would have been a great way to end that segment. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler. Roman Reigns, I say this right now, is one of, if not the most boring wrestler in WWE today. Just cannot get into a Roman Reigns match because we all know how it's going to fucking end. And that's exactly how this match ended. Roman Reigns, this is the 5 moves of doom, or the 5 things. This is the things to Roman Reigns' matches. Hot start, best holds, gets his ass kicked for 95% of the match. Spear, 1, 2, 3, and that's that. 5 things that you have for a Roman Reigns match. Oh wait, that's 6. Spear misses the first spear, goes like hits a Superman punch, and then hits a spear for the 1, 2, 3. Owens comes out during the end of this match, hits a stunner on Shane, runs away. We go for a zigzag from Dolph Ziggler. He gets blocked. Spear, 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Obviously, we're getting Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens will be your next feud coming out of Extreme Rules, which tells me that Shane McMahon is probably going to be winning. You're not going to have this. This is supposed to be a blow-off. This is going to be the blow-off for Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. It has to be. You don't bring The Undertaker back for the middle of a feud. Roman and Undertaker are probably going to lose somehow, some way. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. And honestly, I don't really fucking care. The match is going to be trash. We all know that. The only person in that match with any redeeming qualities is Drew McIntyre, and it's a damn shame that he has to be saddled with this shit. Drew deserves better, and I'm just going to say that right now. Drew deserves better than being the lackey of Shane McMahon and being in a feud with Roman Reigns. I don't expect Shane to lose this match because WWE is building towards something, and just having Roman Reigns beat Shane McMahon right now in WWE's mind would make no sense. Smackdown was an okay show, but there was just too much Shane. All I'm saying, if Roman and The Undertaker win on Sunday, this should be the last time we see Shane McMahon for a very, very long fucking time. I don't want to see him for the rest of the goddamn year. Time to move on. It's time to get Raw and SmackDown under new management and get these shows to be better. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Twitch and Twitter at The France Club, and I'll see you guys tonight for NXT as we get closer and closer to NXT TakeOver Toronto 2, which I am looking forward to, and I know you are too. So then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.